Good morning, team. Today we are going to discuss the topic on the demo session of the iOS development training. What are all the features involved in iOS development? What are the requirements? And what are the things we need to focus mainly on when you are going into any mobile development career? Myself, a mobile application developer, having 5 years of experience in mobile development career. Initially, from starting on my career, I am working on mobile applications only. I have worked in both MNC and startup organizations. Why means I have included both the things. The startup environment is completely different, where the task should be given and it should be end-to-end product development will be observed thoroughly, and we can know the each and every bit of the project, what we have done, what the module we have done. In MNC also similar structure, but we need to dive into that thing, and we need to get to know what the things have to done. By because the MNCs are strict, in the organization's level, there are multiple kind of teams like testing and some other things, development teams, Scrum team, like that. The teams will be there. If you want to get into the particular testing, what they are doing in what the tools they are using, it will be difficult to get into that and ask them to get the correct thing. But in a startup culture, the testing whatever, every team is will be mixed, and you can easily contact and easily approach, and we can get to know each other easily. But in MNCs also, some MNCs will offer this kind of leverage based on your manager. But most of the organizations will restrict, and the people also we should not be restricted to particular domain or particular knowledge when you're entering IT sector. The people should be gone into everywhere when there is a chance, and only it should be helpful in their career. That's why I have mentioned this MNC and the startup culture. And I have published some multiple apps in App Store and Play Store. Like I have done like e-commerce application and financial applications and emergency kind of applications like police what they have used. Uh, Both are almost all are in, live in the current scenario. When you are focusing on this objective, when you are focusing on iOS development career, we need to focus on mainly the Objective C and the Swift. Why? Because Objective C is the language where they have initially used in developing the mobile applications. Later, have they migrated to Swift. Currently, the 5.x versions are running. In Objective C, it is similar to a subset of C, where this everything is in the form of objects. If you are aware of objective-oriented programming language, it will be easier. But this is a quite complex compared to the Swift. Swift is a simpler language which was evolved later. Uh, in the backend, whatever the things we are writing in Swift indirectly cause the Objective-C. This was a blind thing you need to remember. They are not focusing on other languages. Like it was similar to Java, but not completely Java. JavaScript and TypeScript, I have no that one. It might be a not a necessary thing for to go into the iOS development thing. When you are going to the demo section, I will briefly tell about what are the things we need to focus on the iOS development or mobile development career, future of mobile applications. And whenever anything around the not around the world, behind besides the neighbors what they are doing. For example, you are sitting in any auditorium, every person will having compulsory on mobile. You can just focus on the thing. If every mobile is having, every person is having mobile, and every person is using your mobile application, how is the scale of that application you can imagine? For example, if you are using Amazon, Amazon not only in India, around the world the people are using. If the Amazon app is developed into furthermore like VR, AR, this kind of application is will be more scalability will be there. That kind of applications we need to make for the people should people's life make easier when you're using mobile applications. Can I say an example? Previously, we need to purchase one sofa. We need to take measurements, and in the inside the room where it will fit, we need to check everything in the aspect and go to the particular showroom and check, and we need to get. When you purchase a sofa, it is not fitting into your home. That will be very disappointing manner. But nowadays, due to the advancement of VR thing, we can just from the shopping site app, we can place the sofa and we can see exactly which color it is matching. Everything we can get to know and we can easily purchase the sofa. This was the advancement we are going forward. That's why mobile applications will be in future will be like a drastic manner where you can do everything inside the mobile application or iOS development. I'm not telling completely iOS development what are all the topics we'll cover, what are all the things we need to cover. Just brief I'm explaining iOS development. In iOS development, there are two programming languages we can by using that one we can develop. One is Objective-C and another is a Swift. Objective-C and the Swift are completely programming language provided and supported by Apple developers, Apple company only. We can find each and every topic documentation Apple developers portal. If you are having any, for example, we have declared a function and we are unable to do that one, then we can go to the Apple developers portal and check each and every detail of the how to use, what are the parameters, what are the types we need to define. Everything we can it will available in Apple developers profile and requirements of iOS development. For that, if you say an example, if you are developing anything, we need some requirements. For example, uh, you are doing any Java application, Eclipse is required. For Android development. Similarly, for iOS application, Xcode is required. Xcode is the tool for IDE, Integrated Development Environment, which was provided by the Apple. We need to download that one. In that only we can develop iOS native applications. I'm precisely telling iOS native applications. We can do like cross-platform applications through JavaScript or TypeScript or any native script. These are the cross-platform applications by using AngularJS. We can do by using Visual Studio Code. But when you are doing iOS native development, compulsory and mandatory Xcode is required. And also, if you are having a Mac machine, and also Mac machine is mandatory. Why? Because there are two types of operating systems. One on Mac OS and another on Windows OS. Windows OS won't support the Xcode. Why? Because these are Linux and Unix configuration. Uh, an Android Studio supported in iOS, Mac OS. We can achieve that one. For example, if you want to develop an iOS application, Mac OS is mandatory. If you are unable to purchase or we can do some more things by you purchasing VMs from the online, we can do that one. But it is quite expensive, not expensive, quite complicated. When you are using VM, always VM is like they are posting somewhere and we are trying to use. Due to that, there will be a little lag in your applications when you are doing work in your machine. That is why it is not preferable. It is there is no chance of having a Mac machine. Then people will use the virtual machine. Preferably try to use Mac machines locally. And nowadays, everywhere, for example, 10 people are having, 6 people are having, for example, 8 people are using Android and 2 people are using iOS. For example, 5 people are using Android, 5 people are using iOS. But I need to develop an application for both the for 10 people. That means we need to know we need to have the knowledge on iOS and Android. But you don't have the knowledge on Android, but I want to develop the applications for Android people also. How we can achieve this one? By using cross platform, we can achieve this one, or else you need to learn the Android thing. But when you are going to Android, again, it will be difficult for in future any other application will come. You need to learn another native code. That's why cross-platform may be helpful in developing both iOS and Android at a time. Native application when you're comparing cross-platform, native platform, ultimate winner will be the native according to the performance, scalability, and availability of APIs. For example, today we have released like 13.2 version API, which will support in iOS 15 version. But when you're going into the cross-platform like React Native or a Flutter, it will take some time to update their APIs, like 1 month or 2 months, like that. But immediately when the Apple developer comes, next day the availability is uh, you can see in your in your system, and we can use that functionality. That is the advantage of native. And also the performance wise, the security level wise, the native things will be the much ahead of the cross platform. But the cross platforms are also still trying to fill that gap. Uh, but it is going in a tough manner. We can do whatever the things in native in a cross platform also. But both are valid things. We can, based on our requirement, based on our functionality, we can decide which one we can choose. Now I am going to the Apple operating systems. The Apple operating systems, like we are having the Apple Watch, MacBook, Mac, Apple Watches, and Apple Watches and Apple TV. There are multiple kind of things in Apple operating systems. Everything we can do using the programming language like Swift. So these are the Apple ecosystems. Whenever you are doing, for example, you are developing an app like running app, we can integrate like Apple Watch OS into Apple Watch OS also by using a intent kind of thing. They can both interact with each other by using Intex. That is the advantages of Apple ecosystem when you are developing the app. We can sync the data between the systems. That was the main advantages to iCloud what they are providing. Features, and Xcode. Xcode is like already I have mentioned that IDE. It's an IDE very user friendly compared to all other IDEs in the market. Mm. They are having the simulators inside the simulator, like from iPhone 6s, different screen sizes. We need to test all the different screen sizes are available. We can check whatever the tools we are having. We can update the things to the latest exports and functionalities and everything we can do. And storyboards are not allowed. When you are designing any screen, for example, simple login screen, uh, we need to have a one storyboard, or by manually also we can do by using a SwiftUI. But storyboards are the old one. SwiftUI is the latest one. SwiftUI documentation is quite perfect. We can use the SwiftUI now at present. Just mention storyboards not allowed. Storyboards is like tell the story in briefly manner. You can see the screens and you can understand what is the functionality like that. And auto layout. Auto layout is the fitting of, for example, if you are using UI button, it should be fitting all the screens at the same size and same thing. iPads and iPhone 6s, it should be the same. For that purpose, auto layout is helpful. View and view life cycle. In iOS, everything will be in the form of view. Yeah, but everything we can view life cycle like a view did load, we will appear, we will disappear. These are the different life cycles. When you are opening the application, that these cycles will be executed. We can get to know bri- uh, entirely when we are going to the picture. We will explain life cycle means how it will execute, when it will execute, on what methods we need to call it is, on what methods we need to remove the listener. These are all the helpful in the listener. For example, if we're adding a listener in a we did load, but we forgot to remove that listener and we will disappear. That listener will keep on calling an entire application, which will affect your memory usage of the application. For that reason, we need to remove the view life cycle inside the whenever we will appear. We should call this one. We will appear. View life cycle is very important when you are doing any applications perfectly. You might see the notifications like Zomato or Swiggy whenever you are uh, on that application, they will frequently send the application notifications to your system. Which push notifications is a mandatory topic of whatever the people we are doing in application now. Why? Because we are remotely working applications. We, for example, if you are using an application, we are close to that one, but we are not using. But by using remote notification, we can invoke that app. We are saying the people this app is existing in our application. Please use the app. Like that also we can send push notifications by using file-based configurations or other third-party configurations we can achieve. Now most of the people will try to use this push notifications using file-based configurations only. For that, device token is needed. Those are the uh, part of the development career, development process. When we are going to the push notifications, I will explain entirely on the Cocoa Path. Cocoa Path is the libraries. For example, we are developing on applications like location. We need to use the Google location. Google location is directly not provided by the Apple. For that, Google have developed a Google location library. When you are trying to use that one, this Cocoa parts is necessary. Mm. By using part 5, we can download the Google locations library in your system, and we can use the functionality of Google locations in your system by providing the developer key in that particular thing. When this was the necessity of Cocoa Bus. Briefly, when we're explaining what is the use of Cocoa Bus, it was helpful in the integration of libraries into our current project. When you're integrating into the project Cocoa Bus, workspace will be created. We should not, when you are creating export project, two projects will be revealed. Normal export project and workspace project. After integration of Cocoa Bus, people definitely need to use the workspace project. Why? Because workspace libraries will be created in the workspace project. If you are running the project, it won't run. Why? Because it is not supporting the existing thing. Workspace project is necessary to do that functionality. Whenever that is the necessary of the Cocopus. And again, code data and real. These are the local DB. So you might be aware of the MS SQL server and the SQL. These are the server DBs. We don't have the command on that one. But in mobile, we are having the code data and the Realm. Code data is provided by the Apple. Realm is third party library. Code data, why it is required is local. For example, you are having 1,000 students uh, fetching from the API. We need to we need to have the DB. We can store entirely the 1,000 students into your local DB. Instead of fetching, for example, you are having one mobile app like a class application. In that class application, 1,000 students information is there. We don't have the core data DB in your certain application. You want to show that user details into your system in your mobile. 1,000 students should not it should not be the hard coded thing. It should be fetched from the server. Like one API should be triggered. When your API is triggered in the view in your mobile application, we can see the 1,000 students details. So we can see and when we are kill the application and again we are launching the application, again we need to fetch the 1,000 application. Then, for example, if user is trying to hit 10 times, we need to call 10 times the API. It will be quite a complex manner. It will be waste of time every time we are hitting the DB and we are fetching because the results are not getting affected also. That's why when you are using the code data, when you are first hitting the server, we can write that receive response in your code data. Whenever you are opening another time, we can directly open that results without having the API call. That is the use of the local database published app in the store. Once the application is ready, we need to publish app into the store for testing or for enhancement or like that. Why? Because the people will might try to use this application when it is available to all the people in our society. For that, there is a definite process to follow that one. Mm. We will discuss now here. For that one, we need to have the proper certifications. Apple developer account is a mandatory. That is a $99. You need to buy that one. Once you are buy that one, then only you can publish that application. In that, they are having a multiple modules of things there, like certificates we need to download, key generations will be required. When you are doing that one, it should be bundle identifier is the keyword or to identify your application. For example, if you are doing any running application, on that or running is the end name and middle is the company name or for which organization are developing, we should be focused on that. This bundle identifier is helpful in getting the push notifications or any Google certifications or Google locations. Everything we need to try to use this bundle identifier. Once everything is done, we can before going to the app store, we need to test the applications internally through our testers. By using a TekSlate, we can distribute the app. Otherwise, the app store. So, and TekSlate is also a quick process before uploading into the app store. It will be the before process the TekSlate. Mm, okay, this was briefly about how to publish an app in the app store. Already discussed that MacBook is required for developing iOS applications. We have learned the iOS topics until now. Just briefly, once you are entered into the course, there are like projects we need to do. When you are doing the project only, you will get to know what are all the advantages, what are all the disadvantages, and how to approach the project structure like that. CRUD operation is the main thing we need to do that one. CRUD means when you are creating anything, CRUD means create, retrieve, update, delete. When you are perfectly do these things with your local DB, you can be uh, achieve something UI, or we can easily understand this was the approach we need to follow. And another one is JSON serialization of data inside the table view. Not only table view, connection, anything we can do. But I'm just telling an example of table view. JSON serialization means from the API, they will send data in the form of JSON uh, or any data. We need to convert the JSON into normal models. Models you might be aware of. If you are not aware, I will explain. MVM and MVM are the patterns we are using for the developing of iOS applications. MVC means model view controller. Model means business entity. For example, inside the class, what are all? For example, inside the class, students are there. What are students? If you consider an entity, for the students, you will have the roll number, name, and section and sex. These are the four entities. When you are defining these four entities, this will become the one model, and we will be the we need to see the visual screen of the screen set, roll number and the name. That will be the visual screen. Con- Controller will be the interaction between the model and view. We can't directly interact with the we can't we should not interact directly in model and the controller. Sorry, model and the view. We should be interacting between the controller. It will have the code how to interact with both the things. That is the MVC pattern. When are coming to JSON serialization, there are multiple libraries available in the market. And when you are using any API calls, Alamofire is frequently used library for API calls because they are very ahead of advancement in development of HTTP protocols. Apple also is providing, but Apple is mm, simpler manner. But Alamofire is the best use of this thing. By using this one, we can do the thing. When you are developing anything, we need to require some lab setup, right? Or for system for the practice or anything. For that, these are the requirements with MacBook or 500 SSD if you are not affordable. 125 SSD is also fine. After the interviews, after the completion of the course, the team will conduct a mock interviews and evaluate there are before going to the job. Mock interviews are very helpful when you are stuck anywhere in that attending or explaining the topics we have covered. Our team will be approached and we will be helpful in clearing that mock interviews, how to approach and what are all the important topics will be asked in interviews. Those all things will be discussed. After 30 days of course completion, we will receive a certificate from like post complete certification on what date and what date it ended. It will be helpful in showing into the employer where the job will get. But for iOS, it is not a mandatory. But iOS, Android, we can buy Google certifications also is available apart from this course complete certificate. Google certification is also very helpful. This was brief about the demo. You have thanks for attending the demo. If you are having any feedback or any queries on relate to the project or schedule and cost, you can contact the below numbers. Thanks for your time, team.